fun to say, I think. It didn't hit me until last week. One of my co-students that's also being ordained said, "It's Reverend Becky now." And I went, "What? Wow, did you hear that?" Surprised myself. Thank you for inviting me back. And thank you for the beautiful music. This is me now. I'm going through a healing journey, and so I am stronger now, and I am more able to do what I love to do, which is speak to Unity people, and even the ones that aren't Unity, because I just love to let them know the truth. So before I get started, I want to acknowledge our fathers. Now, when I was a kid, I had my father, but we were estranged. And when I was in my teens, my best friend's father was my father. And the day he passed away tore me to bits because he meant so much to me in the time. So not all fathers are given the gift as biologically, but there are a lot of people that play that role in it for us. So uncles can do it. Anyone who played the role, we want to say thank you to them. And we have cake for afterwards. So we're going to bless the fathers today. But before we do, I want to take just a few minutes, and I want you to either out loud or in your head say the name and give thanks to someone that played that masculine role in your life. And I'll just wait for a minute. So if anybody needs more time, you can let me know, okay? All right. Jack. How big our hearts are, right? So the fathers in the room, you will represent all those names. And if you wouldn't mind standing up as we can do this blessing for you, the Unity blessing. If that's only, if you ever played a father role, and all the people that we were just mentioned, okay? So all together, let's say, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate you, and we behold the Christ in you. And so it is. Thank you. Thank you for that. Now I want to go on just a minute about Father's Day. Does anybody know the origin of Father's Day? Was kind of creepy when I found out. So Father's Day had its origins in medieval Europe, when Catholics dedicated a day to honoring fathers, or fatherhood, and all parental relationships. You fast forward a couple hundred years, and it's now a holiday held all over the world. Father's Day in America has a rich history dating back to the turn of the century. But to really understand Father's Day, we got to go all the way back to post-Civil War. So just after the Civil War, they decided, a lady named Anne Reeves Jarvis decided there was so much, we were torn so much apart. We were divided. And so she wanted to find a way that everybody could be celebrated as one, something that mattered to both of them. So she first started with Mother's Day. And that brought both sides of the mothers together to celebrate this wonderful day. And then she's like, well, let's do Father's Day too. So they put it the next month. And that's actually how it started, which I think is very unique. I didn't know it was right after the story. She was actually trying to find a way to find peace for everybody, which is amazing. A lot of work in those days, right? No, this thing's not going to start for me. Okay. And I'll start. I want to start really quick with my favorite book. I'm not going to read the whole thing. This is the piece that I want you to hear. It's called, if anybody hasn't read this book, The Waiting Place. by Dr. Seuss. The waiting place is where people are just waiting. Waiting for a train to go, or a bus to come, or a plane to go, or the mail to come, or the rain to go, or the phone to ring, or the snow to snow, or waiting around for a yes or a no, or the waiting for your hair to grow. I am. It's just nubs right now. Everyone is just waiting. Waiting for the fish to bite, or waiting for the fly a kite, or waiting around for Friday night. Along with the younger ones, right? Friday was always the last day of school here. Or waiting for perhaps their Uncle Jake, or a pot to boil, or a better break. Or a string of pearls, or a pair of pants, or a wig with curls, or another chance. Everyone is just waiting. Everyone has been there, right? I mean, Dr. Seuss says it so lovingly here, because I absolutely love the way he puts this, but it's because the in-between the doors is the time that you're kicked out into the hallway somehow. Either you do it yourself, or someone does it for you, you know, but the next part hasn't shown up yet. And it can be a really scary place. I've been here many times. In fact, I'm in here now in many ways in my life. With my health, even with my ordination and stuff, because my school is done now. I don't have a church, I don't have a congregation to go to, so it's like, now I'm in a waiting place, see where Spirit guides me at this point. So here, oh wait, of course it clock's off right now, sorry. I need it to stop going off for me. Okay, what do we do while we're waiting? This is actually, okay, it changed for me. This was one of those slides we messed up earlier. Okay, so sorry. So what does it mean? What does it do for us? What does this waiting place do for us? We're in the hallway, and it's here to teach us something. It could teach us patience, like Dr. Seuss said, or just that it's not the right timing, or that, we have a long way to go. But I love this quote right here by Alexander Graham Bell. When one door closes, another door opens. But we often look so close and so long and regretfully upon the closed door that we do not see which one has opened for us. Anybody been there? Yeah. I even clawed at it and tried to open it back up, thinking that's where I'm supposed to be, and for some reason I'm in this long hallway and I have no idea which one of these doors is opening for me. So I really resemble that remark. So the hallway is, we often think that if we're in the hallway, we think it's because of something wrong. You know what I mean? We start putting blame on it, like, oh, how did I get here? I must have done something wrong. My divorce, I must have done something wrong to be divorced now. I must have, or whatever it is. We think that somebody put us there, or we put ourselves there, but it was a bad thing. And actually, it's not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing being in the hallway. And what we'd like to do is celebrate hallways. How about that? Could you, in fact, celebrate these hallways? This is actually a piece from Reverend Ellen Davenport from Unity Worldwide Ministries. She's been a Unity minister for a long time. She actually has a book that's called Hell in the Hallway, Light at the Door. But we don't always see the light, do we? Sometimes we're like scrambling around trying to, I felt like for years I was crawling on my hands and knees trying to find the door. It's like, what am I waiting for? What's going on here? Because it seemed like I was there again in this space with no direction and no understanding. And I recently heard about this, who was it? One of the actors on the TV said something about, this too shall pass. If we could just look at that, this is going to pass. What am I here to learn while I'm in this space? Charles Fillmore says it like this: embrace change, for it is the only constant in life. Adaptability is the key to growth and progress. adaptability. Who wants to be adaptable all the time? You know? It's like, oh, I have to change again, you know? It's me. It always comes back to me. I look back at my life a long time ago when I was in my late 30s, and I said, the common denominator through all the things I've been through in my life was me. So guess what? I was the one that had to change. Not a comfortable place to be, but even Charles tells us, adaptability is the key. I am a dreamer. In fact, I have nightmares. I used to have them a lot more frequently when I was young, but I still often have really bad dreams. And there was this one reoccurring dream. Does anybody ever have reoccurring dreams? It's the same thing, yeah, coming back. And I couldn't understand it. So it was like I was in this old rickety house and something was always chasing us, right? So I'm running from it and I'm going from room to room, opening doors, and every room gets smaller and every closet gets smaller. And as I go, I'm too big to go through to the next door, and I feel it closing in on me, and then I wake up. And I was just like, why am I having this dream, you know, about being chased by whatever it was, but not being able to get where I needed to go. And a lot of people have dreams like that. I know we talk to the kids sometimes when they have dreams, and we have to kind of interpret them for them, because, you know, we watched the movie when you're up late. I knew that wasn't what was happening to me. I knew there was something more. So lots of us are feeling like we're in the hallway, and we want to find the answers, and we need to lean into being patient, lean into celebrating what's going on. Maybe it's a time to ground. Maybe it's a time to heal. Maybe it's a time to let go. Really, what you thought. I know I can't be alone. I've carried things for a lot longer than I need to carry them, you know, and people. It's part of our nature of trying to be kind and loving people. We want to be sure that they have help, and that always isn't always in our best interest. So 2 Corinthians puts it this way: therefore, we do not lose heart. Though outwardly we are wasting away, yet inwardly we are being renewed day by day. For our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all. So we fix our eyes upon what's not seen. So we fix our eyes not on what is seen, but what is unseen. Since what is seen is temporary, and what is unseen is eternal. Think about it for a minute. All this will fade away. Even our bodies will fade away, right? But our love, our kindness, you can't see those things. Our faith, you can't see them outwardly. Those are the things that are going to last. So why do we let our human being try to hold on to that peace that really isn't the right peace for us, when we know that what we don't see is real, like love, kindness, and so many more. So that's my hallway sometimes, and yeah, it's not a pretty one, but it represents sometimes I'm kicked into my hallway. You know, something happens like in November, being diagnosed. You know, getting my diagnosis my head was spinning. I think the first 6 weeks I couldn't even say it out loud, because I'm a true student. If I say it out loud, I'm affirming it. And I'm not going to affirm that kind of crap, you know? But so sometimes it's like that, and sometimes it's a huge mess when you're trying to get through. And you have to decipher what is what and where what goes. So can we move through this space? And if we have to pick up a little clutter, do it, but do it thankfully. Can we hold on to that positive thought that the unseen is what we are looking for? The unseen will get us through. Our faith, our connection to Christ, our divinity, that's what's going to pull us through it. So we can learn to be okay Father Richard Rohr is a Franciscan priest, and I've read several of his books. He does a lot of commingling with, I would say he's not traditional Franciscan, because he's like way oversteps unity and 12-step. He kind of blends them together. And he calls this place a luminal place. This is him. He says, we have to allow ourselves to be drawn into sacred space, into luminality. All transformation takes place here. Sometimes I don't want to be in that place, you know? Do I have to transform some more? Okay, it takes place there. Right, exactly. And I come to understand that I'll be doing this until I'm not here anymore. So, but it does. It's like, oh, I'm getting tired of having to do this. We have to allow ourselves to be drawn out of the business as usual and remain familiar with the complete unknown. Be okay with the unknown. Be okay without being able to see the vision. There alone is our old world left behind while we are not sure yet of our new existence. That's a good space, he says, where genuine newness can begin. Oftentimes I do this, when I do workshops with people, I do this one meditation, and it's rather long, and I'll just give you the little understanding of it, and I have everybody in deep into, it's almost hypnosis, I'm a hypnotist too, but I get them deep into themselves, and then I walk them through the scenario that tomorrow when they wake up, when they look in the mirror, they won't know their age, don't know their loved ones, they won't know how they got where they were. If I could go back, I'll take this on myself, but if I could go back and release all that stuff from before, I would probably be a different person. And it's like they wake up anew. So your day is your day, which is true every day, because we're not the same as we were yesterday, even though we try to be. Even our cells are changing. So he's really good. I like him that. So this place of transition is a time between what was and what will be, is currently what is. And we know that we can't live in tomorrow, and we can't live in yesterday, because today is all we have. So from the book of Genesis, I love this, 37 through 60, it talks about like Jacob's family, right? And Jacob had 12 sons. His son Joseph was his favorite, and his other sons hated that thought. So they were really mad. Joseph had all these beautiful gifts. One of them was to interpret dreams. So as he's growing up and his dad's just giving him free rein to be the wonderful light he is, he starts telling his brothers things like, well, you know, one day you'll bow down to me. They already didn't like him. I could have seen my brothers offing me at that point, you know. So they come up with a scheme, and they take Joseph out into the wilderness, they throw him into a well, and they cover his coat of many colors with sheep's blood, and they take it back and say, Daddy died. But they couldn't leave him there because they thought somebody might find him. So they went back and got him, and they sold him into slavery. Okay, so here he is, up, everything's wonderful, then he's in a hole. Then he's in slavery, and then he goes through different kinds of things when he's in slavery, and every one of them is like, he gets here, and then he goes back down. So he gets there, and he's a slave, and Potiphar finds out about him, that he can interpret dreams. So Potiphar says, hey, you can come run my house with me, and he's on top of the world again, right? He's living in luxury. Potiphar's wife liked Joseph a little too much. And so when Joseph wouldn't reciprocate what she wanted, this relationship she wanted, she said, oh, he raped me, he took advantage of me. So Potiphar threw him back down into it. I mean, it's like a whole thing. And every time, he never once said, woe is me. Why do I have to be stuck in this place? He just went with it, knowing that the next step would come, which it turns out really good for him, because it does. He becomes the Pharaoh's second hand, and even reunites with his brothers and his father later on. But it's just, he waited. It was okay. He didn't try to fight it. He didn't try to tell it, you can't do this to me. He didn't try to claw the door back open like I have. So each time he was in the hallway, he did what he needed to do while he held steadfast to his faith. That's what I want to be. This is Reverend Ellen Davenport from Unity Headquarters, and that's the book that she wrote, and I absolutely love it. She talks about it in many ways. She asked a lot of questions. What did I learn there? And why can't I celebrate being there? And nothing went wrong in my life, but here I am again. So it isn't always a bad thing that has to push us into the hallway. In fact, some of us go, you know what, I'm going to do it myself, and step out. They let go and move on, you know. So it's just a place, another space of learning for us for the next adventure that's coming out. She says this in her book. When she left a long career in journalism to become a Unity minister, she assumed angels would sing as she floated out on a cloud of bliss into her new calling. This really rings true for me because I was like, oh, I'm here. Wait, what? I'm here, but what? You know? So instead, she felt fear. Everything in her was upside down. She describes this time in her life as a period of intense uncertainty, while life is as she knew it was ended, but what happens next is still a mystery. And she gives us 6 tools to combat this, to be able to help ourselves while we're in that space. Now, I'll tell you about each one of them. The first one is acceptance. At some point, you'll look around, that's good, and notice your new surroundings. Take a deep breath and say, here I am. What's next? Trust. It is happening for you. You know, all the times I hear people talking when they're discussing things that are, you know, shaking their lives up, they're saying, this is happening to me. What if you believed it was happening for you? That's how we celebrate this space. We believe it's happening for us. Surrender. We release all thoughts of how things ought to be. We don't ought ourselves, shoulda, woulda, coulda, ourselves every day. We just release the notion that we know that. Listen for the still small voice of love and guidance within, because we are connected within. Forgiveness. Become willing to forgive. And that's different than saying, I forgive you. This one I learned probably about 5 years into Unity, so it was in the early 2000s. I was having a hard time forgiving some of the people for what they had done to me and what they had put me through as a child. And my therapist at the time said, you don't have to forgive them, you just have to be willing to forgive. So that doesn't mean I had to let go of everything. I just said, okay, I'm willing to work towards forgiveness. I'm willing to forgive them. And as I used that for several years, I actually was able to forgive them and told them to their faces that I forgave them. Of course, they still didn't admit it, but I said it anyway. I made my peace with it and moved on. Forgiveness is key. Prayer. We're all about unity, right? Prayer. And for us, prayer is going down deep inside, affirming the truth, denying what's not real, and connecting to our heart space, our Christ inside. And on the next couple slides now, Davenport offers us a couple short prayers, and I'll read those to you. I love them. I have them written up in my house, and if you want to, you can take a picture of it. So prayer is the foundation of unity. Responsibility. This meant I would start taking responsibility for what I was thinking. If I'm thinking, oh, it should be better, I'm responsible for that thought. Why can't it be good right where it's at? Because this is all we got. I have this moment right here. I have no guarantees that by the time I get home, I'll still be around. you know? So I want to celebrate in this moment. And I love being here because I love these lovely faces here. So she says this, what I've learned about life's transitions is that no matter what kinds of outer adjustments have to be made, the real work is within. Navigating through change is a spiritual path. We can't fix it by moving across country. I tried twice. What? I knew better and I still tried anyway. You know, in being a true student, we recognize this oneness within is our source for all. Not just prosperity, everything in our life, this oneness is the source for that. So here's what the prayers that she says, okay? Reveal what needs to be revealed and heal what needs to be healed. Doesn't take that long, right? Reveal what needs to be revealed and heal what needs to be healed. My favorite, lead me where you need me and speak to me in ways I cannot possibly misunderstand. Oh, is this it? Is this it, God? Oh, no, that's not it. I'm guilty too, guys. It's okay. So, about my dreams I talked about earlier, right? Going into little doors. I was telling my therapist about that, and she told me that I should examine it more, and I went to a friend that's a spiritual advisor, and we talked about it, and she told me that a house is considered your soul inside you. And the fact that it's possible that I had not seen enough of myself, that's why my rooms were getting smaller. Those parts had not been grown enough. Because this is where my dreams are now. Big, open spaces, lots of family around. Nobody's chasing me and hunting me anymore. I don't think I've had one of those dreams for probably 30 years. But because now I know enough about myself and my connection to the source, and I don't have to be in fear of any of it, even as I stand here going through this transition, which is supposed to last until January. So we'll see. Supposed to, I said, right? I will see what God has planned for me. So remember this, if nothing else. The end, the beginning, and the middle, it doesn't matter where you are in it. It doesn't really matter, because there's something that's more important. And we all know it. If you've been coming to Unity at any particular time, for any length of time, you've heard this. God is in it all. Because wherever you are, God is. So if we're stuck in the hall, let's celebrate with God. Stuck in between doors, the doors haven't opened, let's celebrate. Hey, maybe I get to rest here. I use a lot more rest than I used to. I am. So it's a good place to be. Just remember, God is in it all. And God is here because God is within each and every one of us. Thank you.